Have you ever heard of uncorking a TTR 125L? That's what we're going to do today. I got a carb. I pulled the old carb off. I got a new carb from eBay today for $26 plus shipping. So 36 bucks. Genuine. My Cooney. Oh, VM24 out of a KTM 65 SX. It came not put together, which is fine. Whatever, dude. We're going to clean it anyway, right? So first thing we're going to do is clean this carb out. That's going to be step one of our uncorking process, is getting a carb set up for elevation. I live at like 7,000 feet. We usually ride around 9,000 feet. So we're going to try to get this thing jetted for somewhere in between. Tell you what, any jets we put in there that makes this thing run better than it does, I'm going to be super happy. Let's get to this. So we're going to put all these little pieces parts in the ultrasonic cleaner and see if we can't get these things pretty cleaned up. I mean, really, it looks okay. I can see the choke here is absolutely stuck in here. It will not come out. Anyway, we're hoping the ultrasonic cleaner loosens all this crap up. We'll see you guys in a little bit. Yum. So what we need to do now that the slide and junk's removed, these right here. So we're going to move the C-clip. We're going to hold on to that because we're going to use it again. VM24 cap, old carburetor cap, okay? This is the C-clip. Make sure we don't lose that. We're going to use it again. So what I did was I just found a drill bit that's about the same size as this hole. This is the original cap. And we're going to step it up and drill this VM24 cap out. All right. So in theory, our original elbow from the throttle line should fit in here. It's probably going to be hard to do with my big dumb hands in the way, but we just want to make sure that this will fit in there, and it for sure does, which is good. This is good news. So then we'll take the C-clip, pop that back in there. All right, we're good. So that's back on. Real quick, this is the old choke system. We won't need that anymore since there's a choke on board with this VM24. We are going to get rid of this nonsense. Get it right out of here. We don't need it. We will pull this whole choke assembly right off the bike. Get this, and bada bing. New slide is on. We are good to go. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Can you see that? Let me move that a little bit. Check it out, dude. We got good action. Bam. Bam. This thing's going to haul cojones. Guys, that's basically step one and the hardest part of this. With much discomfort, we got this carb to slide in. So just to be aware, this carb is a little bit narrower than the old one. So you really got to work on it to get on these boots. But once you get it on there, you should be good. Step two would be to modify the airbox. First thing we're going to do is we're going to pull this snorkel out of here. Look at how small this thing is. My hands are not that big. We're going to pull the snorkel out, and we're going to take a paddle bit, and we're going to drill a couple 1-inch holes in here, or as big a paddle bit as I can find. Generally, people use a 2-inch hole saw, I think. I don't have a hole saw, and I don't want to buy one, so I'm just going to use some paddle bits. We pulled the ridiculous snorkel thing out of there. That's this thing right there. It goes all the way down in. Bop, bop, bop. So we got the side cover off, this disgusting air filter area right here that's probably never been cleaned. Sorry about that. So we're going to pull that thing out. If you look inside there, what do you see? You see a little screen thing. So part two of this uncorking thing, from what I've gathered, is to pull that screen out. Now to do that, we got to walk to the other side of the bike. We got to make sure that we pull this side cover off that's on this side, and then pull the screen out. Back behind this wiring harness, if you can see that. And guess what? There's a second screw right behind here, which you'll see if it's hard to see. But there's another screw right back in there somewhere. See him? And then down here, there's a screw too, which I already started taking out. And as you can see, this gives us access to the screen. You can pull him right out and put that to the side. So now you got a nice whole bunch of flow into this thing. Then we'll move on to opening this airbox up the rest of the way. And that will complete step 2 of the uncorking process. So if you can see, this there's a little seal in here that is kind of glued on to where this cover connects to the airbox. So what I did was it was kind of glued onto the airbox still, so I pulled it off and I put it back into its little seat here. That might be the easiest solution if you have the seal that's trying to come off with it. I suppose the other thing you could do is you could probably put some RTV in here as well if you feel like this isn't going to seal the box up. So that's an option that I would say should be fine, or some silicone or anything that you got laying around that should seal that up and keep it the dust out. So as you can see, I put some black RTV around this just to be safe. We want to make sure it's good and sealed up. Got our little side cover thing that covers the screen or where the screen was. And I think we have a pretty good seal with the RTV, so I think this part is done. Something to consider before you start drilling the top of the box, because it's going to put a bunch of plastic shrapnel everywhere, is just kind of plug the intake with a rag or something so you don't get a bunch of plastic bits into your cylinder. So I got a 1.5-inch hole drilled out with a paddle bit. I also drilled another little 1/2-inch hole because I think, from what I was reading, people were doing a 2-inch. I was like, well, 1.5 plus 1/2 equals 2, but that's probably not right. I don't know shit about geometry and all the areas of the spheres and circles and stuff. But this should be definitely open up the airflow. It's just with the snorkel taken out, and now we have this hole. Air filter's back in and oiled. It's got a nice little blue hue to it again. It's probably hasn't been oiled since this thing was new. Side cover's back on. Then we'll move on to the exhaust. This part's probably the easiest part. We'll go ahead and remove these bolts, and then we're going to put a couple washers in between this baffle and the exhaust housing right here. And what that will do is allow more air out and around the baffle. So more air in, more air out. I found 6 washers. I think I'm going to stack these up. So these washers are about 3 mil if I put 2 of them together. So that'll give us a 3 mil kind of offset off of the baffle and the housing, which should allow more air through. I'm really not sure how thick people are stacking these washers, but I'm just going to go with, I guess, 3 mil and see what happens. So we'll just take 3 stacks here, 3 stacks of 2, and pop them in between our baffle and the housing. There's our baffle. Okay, cool, they fit. Got lucky. If I have 6 washers, these are the only ones I could find. Let's take a little closer look here. As you can see, now we have a little offset here on, and we still need to start the bike. I'm hoping for the best. Hoping it starts up pretty quickly. I gotta adjust this carb, I'm sure, but we'll see. I'm gonna go ahead and put the gas tank back on. All right, guys, moment of truth. Let's get this gas can back on. I really don't want to do any cuts here. I just want to see if this thing's going to start back up or what. So like I said before, I'm going to use the old exhaust hose off of here for my new gas line because it looks like to be about the same size. So we're going to do that, and then I'll just replace the exhaust hose later. Let's see here. So put one of our little clip guys on here. This side. Seemingly way too small. This on it. Let's just see if it starts. We'll be all right without those little clips for a minute. Put this back down around. Should be enough gas to get it started. I don't know if that line's thick enough, but we'll just make it work for now. Stand it was okay. Yeah. See my awesome starter is broken. And choke's not even on, dude. Oh, it sounds good. I can't believe that started up first try with the starter, no less, which always sucks, and no choke. I didn't even choke it. Not that it's that cold, I guess. It's like 60 degrees out, 70. Let's try that again. Woo! I swear to God. That worked out well. Okay, so I'm going to put this thing back together, but next time we get the wife out, I'll let you know how it goes. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. Yeah, consider subscribing. You don't have to. You don't have to. Oh, it starts so easy now.